The number on your screen has a minus sign in front of it. You stare at it, like it might disappear if you blink. It doesn't. You overdrafted by $4. Just $4. A coffee you forgot was scheduled to charge. The bank doesn't care that it was $4. The bank cares about the math. And the math says you went under. $35, that's the fee. The penalty for being broke is that you become more broke. The fee is bigger than the mistake. You stare at it and feel something that isn't anger, just tired. Then another charge processes, a $7 subscription you forgot to cancel. The system sees you're already negative and charges you another $35. Now you owe $77 to a bank that just took $35 from a $4 mistake. You try to call. The hold music loops 3 times, a voice answers, reads from a script. Hello, thank you for calling. The voice says fees can't be reversed at this time. You ask to speak to a manager. The voice says someone will call back within 48 hours. Nobody calls back. The next morning, your rent payment fails. The landlord charges a $75 late fee. Your phone bill bounces and adds another $25. The math you couldn't fix at $4 is now $200 deep and growing. You skip lunch on Wednesday. Not by choice. You walk past the place you usually eat. Your coworker invites you to grab food after work. You say you already ate. You didn't. Hunger at this level isn't physical. It's silent. It's the kind nobody sees. You walk into the branch on Friday. The teller looks at her screen and her face changes. You watch yourself stop being a person on her screen and start being a flag, a category. You leave without saying what you came to say. You started feeling like a problem. You're not negative anymore. You pulled the account back. 20 hours of overtime to make $200. You did it. Nobody clapped. Nobody noticed. The bank notices, but not in a good way. The maintenance fee hits anyway. $12, sometimes $15, quietly withdrawn. The minimum to avoid it is $1,500. You don't have $1,500. You are paying a bank to hold the money you barely have. You log in and see it disappear overnight. The system doesn't explain. It executes. You apply for a credit card. They offer you a secured one.
You have to give them $300 of your own money so they can lend it back and charge you 24%.
You read the offer twice. They want collateral from you to extend you credit from your own pocket. You don't take it. Which means when your tire blows on a Tuesday morning, you can't put it on plastic. You ride the bus to work 3 hours late. Your manager doesn't fire you. He just looks at you a little longer than usual. You walk into the branch to ask about the fee. The teller is helping the customer in front of you, smiling. When you step up, the smile changes, becomes professional. Trained. The energy in the room shifts. She processes your request in 40 seconds. Doesn't ask if there's anything else. Doesn't tell you to have a nice day. You walk to the door and feel something you've never been able to name. You weren't refused. You were just moved through. The bank doesn't see you as a customer at $200. The bank doesn't see you at all. Something shifted, not in your account, in the way the bank looks at you. Your direct deposit hits every 2 weeks. $1,600 after taxes. Consistent, predictable. The pattern you've held for 6 months is the only thing about you that interests the system. The maintenance fee disappears, not because you asked. The system saw your direct deposit and waived it automatically. The first time it happens, you check 3 times to make sure the same fee that drained your account for years just stopped existing. Nothing changed except your behavior matched a profile that earns the bank money, so they let you keep yours. Credit card offers start arriving, real ones this time, not secured, actual cards with $2,000 limits and 22% interest. The same institution that wouldn't approve you 8 months ago is now mailing you envelopes with your name printed in metallic ink. You apply for one, approved in 90 seconds. The notification feels strange. The same system that ignored you at $200 just said yes to you at $2,000. Ah! Good morning. How can I help you today? Good morning. I'd like to update my address. Certainly. Just fill out this form for me. Recognition without warmth. Service without effort. The middle ground where most Americans live. You apply for a small loan, $5,000 for car repairs, approved in 48 hours. The process worked the way the commercials always promised it would. You realize something nobody tells you. The bank doesn't care who you are. The bank cares what your account looks like. You're not invisible anymore. You're not respected either. You're profitable. You log into the app and notice the credit limit changed. $4,000 became $9,500. The next morning you get a call, not automated, a person. Your bank assigned you a relationship banker. He says his name twice and gives you a direct line. He asks about your goals, your timeline, your savings. He wants to schedule a 15-minute review. The same institution that put you on hold just dialed your number.
Hello?
Yes. The interest rate on your next loan drops. You buy a used car, and the dealer pulls your credit. The rate that would have been 11% at $2,000 is 6.8% at $15,000. The price of money got cheaper, not because you negotiated, because you stopped being a risk. A fee shows up on your statement, $32. You email your banker. 3 hours later, it's reversed. No form, no phone tree, no script, just a reply that says, taken care of. The same fees that drained your account for years are now optional. The system didn't change, your tier did. You start getting emails with your name spelled right. Small touches, personalization. The bank is courting you now. The bank is courting you now, not aggressively, subtly. The way someone treats a person they don't want to lose. You realize something hidden from you at every level below this one. The bank wasn't mean to you when you were broke. The bank was just indifferent. And indifference at scale looks exactly like cruelty. Level 5, $80,000. The bank calls you a preferred client now. The word shows up on your statements, on the welcome screen when you log in, on the email signature of the man who handles your account. You didn't earn the title, the number did. Your relationship banker becomes a real person now, a man named David who knows you have a sister in Chicago. He emails on your birthday, not automated, written. The detail isn't an accident, it's training. You walk into the branch and someone stands up to greet you, not the teller, someone with a nameplate and an office. They guide you past the rope line where everyone else waits, the same line you waited in at $200. A pre-approval letter arrives in the mail, not for a credit card, for a $400,000 mortgage. You get a phone call from a competitor bank. They offered to match your rates and beat them on a savings tier. You mention this to David. He calls back within an hour with a counteroffer. The institution that ignored you is now competing to keep you. The bank stops being a place you visit. It becomes a service that comes to you. David doesn't email anymore. David calls. The colleague drives to your office, not the other way around. He brings printed reports in a leather folder.
He asks about your goals, your timeline, your tax structure, your estate plans. The conversation lasts 90 minutes.
At the end, he doesn't try to sell you anything. He just leaves a card and says he'll send a follow-up. A product is something the bank wants you to buy. A consultation is something the bank wants you to need.
Hi, I'm calling about a wire transfer. Can you help me with that? Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You attend a private dinner the bank hosts. 8 clients, a guest speaker, a view of the city you've never seen. Nobody mentions money the entire night. Money is the table, not the conversation. Private banking. The phrase sounds the same as wealth management, but it isn't. You don't have a banker anymore. You have a private banker, a title that means something specific inside the institution. He knows your kids' names. He knows about the foundation you're thinking about starting because you mentioned it over coffee.
The paperwork that takes a regular customer 2 weeks gets handled in 48 hours because someone was told whose account it is.
The bank doesn't have a customer at $25 million. The bank has a partner, and the partner has a name. Yours.